Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Everton 1, Bournemouth 2. Another episode of this bizarre football team. This very, very bizarre football team that, that is ours. I just can't fathom us out at home at all. We look an absolute mess. We look an absolute mess. When we haven't got the ball, we just look so susceptible to teams breaking on us all of the time. And it's so bizarre. You know, a team that the way it defends away from home can look so bad at home. Or maybe we're just not getting the look at home that we do away from home. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's down to it. Maybe we're just not getting that look. I thought equally the players and the manager were poor today. I thought we were terrible all game, by the way. I thought we were absolutely shocking. I thought the first half we weren't very good, but we got a lead. And the second half we weren't much better. Apart from when we were down to 10 men, which at least we showed some intensity and some I wouldn't say bravery, because it's not brave to try to attack teams. But I just don't understand why, when it's 1-0 and we're winning, why we don't play with an intensity that drives the opposition backwards rather than letting them come onto us. It's really strange. And I thought Moyes' subs were a disgrace, to be honest. I thought the subs were a disgrace. I thought the fact that he didn't change the subs after we conceded the goal was absolutely disgusting. I really thought it was. I thought they were the subs. He was making subs. He was making subs at 1-0, and they were quite negative. Certainly, I thought bringing Harrison Armstrong on for Barry was for George was quite a negative sub. I thought Harrison could come on and play maybe instead of Disagay, but putting him on at right midfield or left midfield, obviously with them swapping, was just so negative. Also bringing Beto on that early as well, I thought was the lad offers nothing. Lad offers absolutely nothing. And we were just dead poor. Dead poor, really. No, I just thought I thought we were really, really poor. And I don't understand why I don't understand why we can't play with that intensity. We played with intensity sort of when we were 1-0 down against Leeds. And we played it with an intensity while we were down to 10 men. And I just don't understand why we can't play with that. It's like we're so scared of conceding that we concede. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't help that we haven't got a centre forward who can't put the ball in the back of the net either. And as I said, I just can't. I can't understand why. I can't understand why how clubs like Bournemouth continually find players who are obviously Premier League ready, and we're making excuses for why we can't bring players in. I can't understand that at all. I can't be doing with those excuses of when you see players who are scoring goals. It baffles me. It really baffles me. But it was just so disappointing. So disappointing. Had an opportunity to go up to 6th, and we've blown that. We've blown that. And as I said, the subs. I thought the subs were terrible. And the subs at the end. I mean, what does it say when you bring a Michael Keane on up front? I mean, what does it say about your trust in the other players? And And also, like, there's players on the pitch who could have come off easily, and he won't take them off. And as I said, I think David Moyes was definitely in the 25% tonight. Definitely in the 25%. But listen, the one thing that we do need, and it's so obvious in games like this, is fullbacks. It's something that we've been crying out for ages. We need fullbacks. Fullbacks would open up the team for us so much. So yeah, the fullbacks would give us that extra bit of attacking that we haven't got. As I said, the sub. If George was going to come off, it should have been for Tyler Diblin, and Harrison Armstrong should have come on for a Disagana Gay. I think they're the subs the manager has to make. I don't like the balance of this midfield. I think we're wide open with this midfield the way it is at the moment. I really do. I just don't like the balance of it at all. I just think it's I just think it's messed up the balance of the team. The fullbacks, and you know, we're gonna get Nathan Patterson back in at right back, which is mad, but yeah, it's just crap. And people just don't like going the ground. It's a chore. All these night games are an absolute fucking disgrace, by the way. They're honestly a disgrace. The last time we had a 3 o'clock Saturday kickoff was at home, was the Forest game, and that was the last game we won. People just don't like going there at night. That's the feeling I get, and the people, it feels like a chore to go the game. And I don't mean that in the sense of like how it used to be a chore to go to, like, when it's a chore to go to games when you're really crap. It actually genuinely feels like a chore to go to the game. In fact, it actually feels like hard work to go to the match. 7:30 kickoff. I know the club don't give a fuck. I know this. Like, and there's nothing they can do about a midweek game. I get it, but someone needs to fucking stick their head up above the parapet and say, this can't go on with these 7:30 kickoffs. They're a joke. People are rushing to the game and they're not actually enjoying going the game. They're just going the game because that's what we do. In terms of, like, as a fan, you go the game. You know, and then you add to that, like, there's traffic enforcement out tonight. So I know people who got, like, parking tickets tonight who thought with like blue badges because they were out enforcing. So that makes it doubly hard for people. People are trying to go to the match. And suddenly people go, oh, we're giving people tickets tonight. So it's everything just feels shit going the game. And I don't think I'm talking out of turn here, by the way. And I think I'm talking about, like, most of, like, a lot of the hardcore who go the game. Listen, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people who are excited about going to a match and they get to go and they don't always get to go to the game and stuff like that. I get that. But genuinely, people, it is a chore to get to the game. It's hard work getting to the game. And then you've got things like fucking parking tickets on top of it. And the price of how much it costs to get there, to park in a car park. And how difficult it is to get there on public transport. And don't get me wrong, I'm not, like, having a go with the ground as such. It's just these kickoffs it's like being on nights. Honestly, it's like being on nights when you're working. And I think everyone's just, like, fed up of it. So then people get off it. These people by me got off soon as the sending off happened. Like, night games used to be like a special event. But now they've come and become just, like, as I said, so much of a chore going the game. And that's why there are so many tickets available. And my arse was the 50,000 in that ground tonight, because it holds 52, whatever it is. And they didn't fill their allocation. And that, I don't get me, I'm not gonna, like, it's Bournemouth. It's a Tuesday night. It's a long way to go. You've got to take time off work, and you might have to take tomorrow off work. So I wouldn't have a go at a Bournemouth fan whatsoever. They're not like a massive club. So, and it's a hard graft. They don't have that the hardcore to fall on. But it really is it really is. And I feel like the club need to have some bollocks and have a bit of pushback. Because you know what? If we don't get Europe, which fucking hell with our own record, there's no chance. This is going to happen again next season. We're going to get loads of night games, loads of Monday night games because we're a team who like you don't know what you're going to get, and it's a nice stadium, and it's shite. It really is shite. It's hard work. It's for some people it is proper hard work, and the football club have got to start taking this all into consideration because honestly, people will just knock it in the head. People will just stop going the game because honestly, it's crap. I don't enjoy. Don't get me wrong. I love that. I love the stadium and all that. I don't enjoy the rigmarole of going there. And I know loads of people of a night game. Saturdays are different. 3 o'clock are different. You get up and your day is planned around the match. Don't get me wrong. That's different. But when it's a night game and your day isn't planned around the game of footy, and you're in work, and some people mightn't have finished work till like 5:30, and then they've got to get everything done within like an hour or so they can get to the game. It doesn't feel like going the game. It feels like something. It feels like something that you're tacking on to the end of your day, and then you don't get home till 11 o'clock. So some people might be like spending the whole day, out or whatever. Something like has got to like change from that point of view. It really has. Something's got to change. It's people are fed up. People are fed up. And if you're losing, if you're not winning, and the games are not exciting, and the team are not going like the last 20 minutes, that's how you want your team playing. And yet we only play like that when we're a goal down, like we have in the last 2 games. We were down to 10 men and we had a goal. And it's like, why can't we do that why can't we do that in the second half of games anyway? So I find that mad. I find it mad. It's crap. It is. It's just crap. And I know loads of people at the end of the season, like big decisions need to be made about like the stadium in terms of like where people are sitting and stuff and all that kind of thing, because the atmosphere is fucking dire. It really is. Like someone has to put their hand up and say to the club, listen, the atmosphere is crap. What can we do about it? Like, what can we do about it? It's just flat. And again, I'm not blaming anyone as such. It's more about like it's clearly the mix. We have to find a way of getting like anyone who wants to be together in the ground. And people who should be in the lower south should be in the lower south. Like the lower south, like I don't know what's going on down there. I haven't been down there. I don't understand why the atmosphere is so shite down there. I'm not going to tell anybody how to support the team or whatever, but it's rubbish. Like the atmosphere in the ground is rubbish. Like what can we do about it? Like what can we do about it? I don't know. But these conversations need to be starting to be had already. And as I said, people aren't turning up. It's the same things we've been talking about all season. It's just, is it the team? Is it us? What can we do to change it? I don't know. I'm not going to start like pointing fingers at anyone. I just feel like I'm just moaning because Everton haven't won a game of footy. But there you go. Yeah. It's also just gone 12 o'clock, so it's a new day. Yeah. Let's get into the actual player ratings. Jordan Pickford, the minute he came out for that cross for the second goal, I knew we were in trouble. As soon as he came out, I just knew he was in trouble. So I don't know why he came out. He had no chance of getting the ball. He came out. He was nowhere near it. So yeah, it was very, very poor. So Jordan Pickford a 5, nowhere near it. Jake O'Brien obviously got sent off. Yeah, probably deserved to be sent off ultimately. Won 1 out of 2 tackles, won 2 out of 6 ground duels, won 3 out of 7 aerial duels. Said it before, said it again. He shouldn't be playing right back. And he won't be playing right back. He did deserve to be sent off. He did take the lad out. So at first I thought he might have got something on it, but he took the player out, and ultimately the player would have been 1-on-1. It doesn't really matter where you take them out. He took them out. So Nathan Patterson, get in the team and make yourself undroppable, lad, because we need we need proper fullbacks. We need proper fullbacks. So Jake O'Brien a 3. Michalenko, I think he sort of on Saturday he sort of caught some people with the assist for the goal, but it's not good enough for me. Simple as that. There was one thing in the first half which sort of, for me, told me everything I need to know about Michalenko. George played the ball between the centre back and the full back, and he just stood and watched it. Like George had like 2 heads for trying to play this ball, and that just summed him up to me. It just summed him up to me as a player. Defensively, he's all right, but the first goal, the lad sneaks behind him. The ball's in the air for ages, and somehow the lad sneaks behind him, scores. Like, how? Ground duels won 6 out of 9. Gives us nothing going forward. But I mean, listen. Yeah, the ball is in the air. Other players should be doing better to stop the cross. But the ball's in the air, and you can. What are you waiting for? You can see it. The lad snook around the back and done him. So he's nowhere near good enough for me. And I just think the fullbacks is an area where we just have to get players. We just have to get players. It just totally, when we're at home and you have to attack, you need fullbacks, and we've got 2 defensive fullbacks, and it just limits us so much. Like, I don't care how good the cross was. I really don't care how good the cross was. Michalenko was standing there watching it in the air while the lad snuck round the back of him. I don't care how good the cross was. So Michalenko, I'd give a 4. James Tarkowski, 3 out of 4 ground duels, 6 out of 8 aerial duels. Yeah, I mean, didn't have a terrible game, didn't have a brilliant game. Just a bit, yeah. But again, when you can see the 2 goals, where is he? Where are our defenders? So I would give him a 6. Brandthwaite, I thought on the ball looked really nervous first half, just some of his passing was really poor in the first half, giving the ball straight away to him. Defensively, he's fine. 2 out of 2 ground duels, 4 out of 4 aerial duels, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle out of 1-1. But he just looked like he was just a little bit off the pace in terms of his passing, and wasn't quite there. But listen, he'll take games. he'll take games, 77% pass accuracy, which is probably quite low for our centre backs this season. But defensively was, yeah, same as I would expect a little bit more from him. I wouldn't expect to concede the goals we did concede with him in the side. So I give him a 6 as well. Into midfield, James Garner. 96% pass accuracy. Won 3 out of 5 ground duels. I just don't think he's the same player. I just don't think he's the same player when Adissa's playing. Or hasn't been, sorry, the same player since Adissa's been playing. And again, I'm not having a go at Adissa. I just don't feel like it's working. I just don't feel like it's gelling. We're gelling properly, that midfield. And I feel like it's taken away. I feel like it's taken away from James Garner a little bit. I just don't think he's been the same player in the last few games. Don't get me wrong, I think he's played well and I think he's done his job. I just don't think he's been like all round. Like I think like the Villa game, he was in there and he was like an absolute lion in the middle of the park. I don't think he's been the same. I really don't. He's missing something in his game because the responsibility he had, almost playing as a number 6 and just sitting and doing the job. I just don't think it's working, that midfield with Adissa in it. I just can't quite put my finger on why it's not the same, but maybe it's Adissa getting caught on the wrong side of the ball, or Adissa going for stuff, and other players are almost like they're almost going into each other's areas. I mean, him and Dewsbury all smashed into, almost double clotheslined each other. So I'm not really having a go at Adissa Gay by any means. It's more I just don't feel they've gelled properly. I feel like there was more energy, even though Adissa is, I don't know. It's really hard to put your finger on, and maybe I'm backing up the wrong tree. I don't know, but it's really hard to put your finger on. It's just not quite working the same. So I'd have changed it tonight. I wouldn't have started Adissa. I really wouldn't. I think I think Harrison Armstrong should have started in the centre for me. So I just think tonight he probably could have left them on. But James Garner, anyway, going back to James Garner. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a vintage performance. He was busy and he did what he needed to do in terms of tackles and he was all over the pitch. You know, he barely, it was like, I think like 2 misplaced passes all game. 2 key passes. 8 crosses, 5 of them were accurate. 5 of them were accurate, which is brilliant. Shot on which the keeper dropped, which I have no idea how Barry doesn't put it in the back of the net. So yeah, all round had a decent game tonight. So I'll give him a 7. Adrissa, as I said, I don't think it's not what he's doing. It's maybe just not quite it's just not quite, I don't know. It's just not quite working. 93% pass accuracy. Won 1 out of 3 ground duels, 1 out of 2 headers. Didn't win his tackle. As I said, it's just not working for me. I just think that it changes. It just changes the shape of the team. And as I said, I don't think he's playing poorly. It's just a shape. It was like a 4-3-3, and now it's gone back to being like a 4-2-1, a 4-2-3-1. And I just preferred it when it was like a 4-3-3. I thought it worked a lot better when those three midfielders were in there and they were all. So for me, it's just not working. The balance of the team is just not working at the moment. So, as I said, I wouldn't say he was like terrible or anything like that. I just don't think he was quite on it. I'll give him a 6.3. Dewsbury Hall. I think it was like he struggled to get into the game tonight at times. 7 out of 13 recoveries, won 1 out of 2. 7 out of 13 ground duels, won 1 of his aerial, 1 out of 2 aerial duels. 88% pass accuracy. Shots, 1 shot, and it was blocked. He just didn't seem to quite get into the game tonight. Busy, but again, I think, again, I don't think he comes deep. He wasn't coming deep enough for me and getting on the ball and trying to make things work and then making those third man runs. So yeah, it wasn't. Again, I don't like it when he sits in that number 10 role, and I like it when he's busy, and again he's like running the midfield with James Garner. I just don't think he did that tonight. He just played more on the edge of their box, almost as like that number 10 playing off the left hand side, and I just don't think that works for us. So I would give Dewsbury Hall 6 for tonight. Iliman Jai obviously scored the goal. Had some good moments. Dribbles 4, none of them were successful. I think that's where he sort of is at the moment. He's trying stuff and it's not coming off. I think he's one of those players that the manager is never going to take off, but I think at times maybe the manager should take him off. 3 crosses, 1 accurate. I just don't. Again, stuff's just not quite coming off for him at the moment. 2 shots on target. As I said, he obviously scored the penalty, but there's a lot on his shoulders. There's a lot on his shoulders at the moment. Being obviously when him and Grealish, I think Grealish took the spotlight off him, but at the moment there's a lot of focus on him, and I do think I think the season is caught up with him. I think it was catching up with him in many ways before he went away to the AFCON. I feel like the accumulation of last season had caught up with them around December time, because when we played Bournemouth away, he looked very leggy in that game. But yeah, he just looks he goes in and out of the game. It's the only problem is like when he's not producing. You're like, well, what does he offer? Well, obviously you'd say that about any winger, wouldn't you? You'd say that about any winger, because the point is like their job is to go forward and attack. Iliman and Jai needs a fullback, as did Jack Grealish need a fullback, and how anyone who plays in the wide position for Everton, they need fullbacks. So it's really difficult without the fullback, because they're always going to have 2 men on them, and if that fullback isn't overlapping, then it becomes a very, very tiring job. And after time, you just get the ball, try and take someone on. You know it's not going to happen, so you just turn around and pass it backwards. And I think Iliman Ndiaye does that quite a lot because he's not going to, it's not that he's been sussed out. It's that teams know how good he is. So they double up on him. And if you don't have a fullback who goes past him, then he'd have to be absolutely top level to beat those opposition players. And he's not. So again, a lot of this team relies on fullbacks. And I think it's just certainly it's so frustrating. And this is where at home I think Moyes needs to, he'll have to change it up. But it's maybe where Moyes needs to start looking at and thinking, well, at home we need to play a fullback, and away we'll play Jake O'Brien. And it's, you can't rely on those. Number one, you can't rely on away results. And number two, you've got to keep the fans happy. You've got to keep the fans happy. No, people aren't. I mean, it's 2 months since we won a home game. Do you know what I mean? It's like fans, for all the reasons I said before, fans aren't in love with this stadium. You know, it's like a year since I went to the first test event. The novelty wore off so long ago for fans who go there every week or every other week, which is good because then that makes it your ground, doesn't it? It's not just a place where you're like all looking around and going, "Ooh, this is great, isn't it?" But if you're not winning games and we've every game that we've either like lost or drawn recently, it's like we concede exactly the same goal, where we just slow the game down to the point where we're at walking pace, and then the opposition just break and score, and it's dead simple, and it's massively frustrating. So we want Ndiaye to be tearing it up, but we need fullbacks to help them. So Ndiaye, I would give it a 6 tonight. On the other side, George. Street George obviously got the nod tonight. Just have a little look at his stats. 70% accurate passes. Dribbles. 1 dribble, which is interesting. Ground duel 7, none 1. I thought George was poor tonight. I thought he was very, very weak. I thought their right back, their left back, their right back had one of the easiest nights he'll have, simply because he physically just dominated them. He just absolutely dominated the lad. Once again, I will say that a fullback who helps him is massively important for him. But he looked very weak, and that's something he's going to have to massively improve on, is keeping hold of the ball when it's given to him. And it's something you've seen how hard Ndiaye is to take the ball off him. I think it's massively important that he looks at someone like him, of like, when the ball comes into him, he's got his back to the opposition. That first point of contact, he has to be so much stronger in when he gets the ball. I thought he was very weak. That saying, the substitution I found to be very, very strange. Very, very strange at that point, to make that substitution. Not necessarily I wouldn't have took him off, but I just found it very, very strange that that when we just conceded a goal, the manager still makes that substitution. But I suppose that's neither here nor there. He's going to have to get stronger. And maybe this is the reason why Chelsea have let him go. Is because they don't believe right now he is ready for the physicality of the Premier League. So he's going to have to get a lot stronger on the ball. He's going to have to be roughed up a little bit in training, I think. I think what the positive side of it is, and this is maybe the difference between him and Tyler Diblin is that he is prepared to take the ball and try and take people on. Whereas Diblin is still very much at a stage where he's not risking stuff. So that's obviously why the manager has put him in the side. But I just found the sub really, really strange, personally. So, Tyke George, I would give a 5 for tonight. Just thought he was very, very ineffective. Tino Barry. I mean, let's be honest, he was crap, wasn't he? He was poor tonight. He had two, in my opinion, had two really big opportunities tonight. And I thought the first one is the first one's horrendous as a miss. Like, it's proper bad. The first one as a miss. You know, he gets the goalkeeper drops it right in front of him, and he somehow puts it into the back of the crowd. And the second one, now there'll be different opinions about the second one, and it'll depend. I suppose it'll depend on you know, your thought. I don't know. Maybe it'll play into what your opinion is on Barry overall. The jury's still out for me. The second one, where to be fair, Njai does really well for the chance in the second half. It's right below me, and when that ball was coming over, it seemed to me that Barry sort of took his eye. It looked like to me he took his eye off the ball. It looked like to me that he thought he was just going to get a tap in. The Bournemouth player, to be fair to him, it's a brilliant block from his point of view. But I think personally, Barry's took his eye off the ball and was literally waiting for it. He'd already had another chance before that where it wasn't a great ball to him and he's tried to get there and he's sort of banged into the defender. But I think that one, which would have made it 2-0. It was a good little spell. It's probably our best spell where we've tested the goalkeeper a couple of times. But I think that was a brilliant opportunity, and I just think he's waited for that ball to come to him rather than going to attack it. And I think that should have been a goal for him. It should have been our second goal, and that would have seen us, I think, onto a comfortable win. The first one, I mean, I don't know what you want to say, but the first one was horrendous. I don't care what anyone says. It's not a lad playing in the park. This is a Premier League footballer. This is not a lad where you go, oh, it wasn't a great bounce and all that. No, he's a Premier League footballer. Premier League footballers, Premier League strikers, when the ball drops in front of them from 5 yards out, should be hitting the back of the net. I really don't care what anyone says. I said this about Beto when he missed the one against Palace, and people were like, "Oh no, it's a great save." It's like, no, mate, he's 5 yards out. Should be burying that header. It's the same with this. He should have buried the first one. And as I said, for the second one, I just think I think he waits. I think he waits for it, and the lad gets there before him, and it's similar to Saturday against Fulham, where this one was, he waited for the one on Saturday when Dewsbury Hall fired it across. That should be 2-0 for me. Again, listen, people will say, oh, it's a great block, blah, blah, blah. I think a Premier League centre-forward would, someone who wants to score 20 goals a season, or someone who does score 20 goals a season, they don't wait for that. They go and meet it and put it in the back of the net. So he's had his ups and he's had his downs. I think tonight was a down. And he'll keep sort of sick. I thought his hold-up play was poor as well tonight. The ball just seemed to be bouncing off him far too much. I just think I want 5 or 6 games from him. String 5 or 6 games together where you're actually just, with your all-round game. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back with him. So I think tonight was 1 step back for me anyway. So so I'll give him a 4. Yeah. Again, I'm not sure I would have took him off for Beto, but there you go. More of that in a moment. Harrison Armstrong came on. I thought it was a weird sub, as I've already said, but I thought he did all right, Harrison. I thought he equipped himself quite well. You know, on the ball. He's good on the ball. That's why I'd like to see him in the centre of the park. 88% pass accuracy. Won 2 out of 2 ground duels. Won 2 out of 3 aerial duels. Won 1 out of 1 tackle. I thought he'd done well when he came on. It's just, he's not a left winger, is he? It's not a square peg round hole again with Moyes. And this is where Moyes, winds me up. I told you it's the 75-25% thing, isn't it, with Moyes? And this is where, why would you bring Harrison Armstrong? You're trying to win a game of football. Oh, sorry, at that point it was 1-1, which is, you're still trying to win a game of football. Why would you bring him on at left midfield? Why not just put him in the middle of the park and take Idrissa Gana Gueye off and let him help pull the strings with Dewsbury Hall? So I just don't get it. I don't get why you wouldn't just put him in that position. It baffles me. Absolutely baffles me why we'd bring him on there. I just don't understand why he brought him on anyway when they'd conceded. We just conceded. They just scored. I found it mad, but I wanted the kid on. I just put him in the centre of the park. That's his position. Harrison, I would give 6.8. As I said, you're at home. You're trying to win the game. You're taking off a wide man. You've got players on the bench. You've got Tyler Dibble. You've got Beto, if you want to look at it like that. You've got Alcaraz. You've got players who can play in forward areas. You could go 2 up front. You could play a wide man out wide. I mean, that's mad suggestion, I know. I just didn't get that. Take Idrissa off. Take Idrissa Gana Gueye off and play with Harrison in the midfield, who's going to be more progressive. Just didn't get that whatsoever. Beto, I thought Beto was dreadful when he came on. I thought he was absolutely dreadful. He is just... I just think we should have got rid of him in January and gone and got anybody. I just thought he was dreadful, and he was so dreadful that we had to bring Michael Keane on. Like, he offered nothing. as an attacker. In fact, he nearly set them up on a counter-attack from the edge of their box. Like, I heard someone say before, people think we're going to get Europe and we've got Beto and Michael Keane up front. And I think that's about the top and bottom of it, isn't it? Like, he was on the pitch for, like, over half an hour. And all he had, I think, was the one header, which was, like, soft. Really, really soft header. That the keeper just was, like, could have caught with a cap. Honestly, a 3. He was abysmal. And as I said, Michael Keane done more in the time he was on than Beto did. Or it just felt like that way anyway. Like, what does it say if you've got to bring on Michael Keane? Do you know what I mean? What does it say about your attacking options? I don't get why. Like, why couldn't he have taken a Drisser off as well and brought on Tyler Diblin or Carlos Alcaraz? Again, this is the Moyes 25% rule. I just don't get it. Like, he could have gone for it at the end there. You've got the goalie up. You could have brought on Alcaraz. You've got 2 more subs. He could have brought Alcaraz and Tyler Diblin on. He could have took off Adisa Ghana Gay. And he could have took off anyone else he wanted. Taki. What difference would it make? I just don't quite understand sometimes David Moyes. But I don't know if anyone's seen any interviews. He looks like Moyes' interview to the press. He is absolutely fuming. It's like the press conference is about 2.5 minutes long, and every question is like 3 words. Literally 3 words. But he's part of the reason we got beat tonight. He is part of the reason that we got beat. Because the subs were poor. We were poor as a team, but the subs were poor. All of the subs were poor. In terms of where he brought players on and when he brought them on. So it's just crap, innit? Listen, we haven't got a game for like till a week Monday. So you've got two weekends to enjoy now. And just try and forget about footy, but that was just crap. That was just crap tonight. We're all going to wake up in the morning, aren't we, with that? You know, when you wake up and the first thing you think of that pops in your head is the game from the night before. We're all going to have that in the morning, aren't we? I just don't understand why we go for games when we're getting beat. Why don't we go for games with that intensity when it's 1-0? That's my biggest gripe. That's exactly what fans want to see us do. And if anyone was around for the first time we had Moyes, that's what we did a lot of the time. Second halves, we went after teams big time in second halves. A lot of the time we were behind, but the amount of times second halves the opposition didn't get out of the half. And I just would have loved us to see us do that tonight. Now, I don't know whether that's on the manager. I don't know whether that's on the players. But just go for teams. Like the way we did when we were down to 10 men. Like they couldn't get the ball off us when we had 10 men. That's what I don't understand. They could not get the ball off us. And they looked scared. They look scared, and that's what we want. We want the opposition to come and be scared, and that's the problem. No one is really scared of us. No one is scared of coming to this ground because we allow teams to score the way they score, which is sit back and then counter-attack us. I don't know. Players or manager, I don't know. It works away from home. It doesn't work at home. The away form is absolutely fantastic. The home form is absolutely garbage. That is the way it is, isn't it? We're 8th as we speak, but we could be 6th. We could be sitting just outside the Champions League places. And tomorrow we probably won't be. The point being is it's all right saying, oh, we're 8th. I get that. It is fantastic. But you can't tell anybody who goes to the game, who sits and pays all that money to go to the ground, we're 8th. We could be 6th tonight with 40 points going, oh, keep doing this. Europe is a good chance. Do you know what I mean? You can't tell any football fan to just be happy with what you've got. You can't. You can't tell any football fan that. You just can't. You look at every game and think, where could you be? What can you get to? So, there we have it. Anyway, it's late. Very, very late. And I am going to go. It's like, 20 to 1. There you go. It's 20 to 1. So, yeah, go and check out Baz's videos. Go and check out my vlog if you haven't already. South Stand reaction. There you go. I'll catch you all tomorrow for the final word and everything else. See you all later. Bye.